Hello everybody, this is Toysareruss, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Magic Square Legend Scale Light of Victory figure. And for those of you who don't know what that is a Legend Scale version of our favourite Autobot leader, Generation 1 Optimus Prime. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes. We'll see how he looks and compares to some other third-party company versions of Optimus Prime. We'll see how he scales with other figures in the same toy line as him. Obviously, because he's Optimus Prime, we've got to see how he looks and compares to the original version of himself, and indeed to some other versions of Optimus Prime that have been released in the official Generations toy line, both big and small. So as you can see, quite a bit to get through with this video. So as I start to pop these back, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to this channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. And the other thing I need to do is thank ShowZ, which is the online store in which I purchased this from. And as you can see, they got him out to me nice, quickly and safely. Right then, let's have a look at him. So I've already opened the box, very quickly ready. So we've got, of course, a brilliant homage to G1, retro looking box there with a sunburst, and of course we can tell that's G1 Optimus Prime. This is just the cab though. There was a version of this released which had the full trailer and everything. Funnily enough, there is just a version of the cab, sorry, an image of the cab. There is, of course, his tech specs, and there is the alien from one of the G1 episodes. So this is how he comes packaged. Inside a little clamshell like that, we've got the instructions like so. He looks to be rather tricky, to be honest. And then what I like about these third-party companies is they put collector's cards in them as well, which is basically what Takara used to do with G1 and have continued doing it into the Masterpiece toy line. So let's set him free from here. Now, the first thing that surprised me, and that's because I'm new to collecting all these figures, is he's quite big for a Legend scale figure. So he's quite a bit taller than the others. But the other thing that I don't want to say it completely surprised me is how good he does look. I mean, he looks very, very good. That is, I suppose, as G1 cartoon accurate as you're going to get, especially in this sort of scale. And again, for those of you who don't know, and myself, I'm learning as well, that these are dubbed mini Masterpiece figures. And the reason for this is, if I just show you right now the articulation, we've got the head will look up and down, it will twist all the way around. These shoulders will do the same all the way around, out to the side, full use. There's a shoulder swivel, there's a bicep flexion. The wrists will swivel because you can actually take, no, not with, you can take these off. But funnily enough, with this particular version, he doesn't actually come with another spare set of hands, but they sometimes do. We've got a waist swivel. We've got the hips, you can see they'll go all the way, well, out to the side, to the front, to the back. There's a knee bend, there's an ankle tilt and rock. These are exactly that, super articulate, super detailed, and that is exactly why they are dubbed mini masterpieces. I think there's the same amount of articulation in this newer version of him, which of course was from Siege. There is, to be fair, I'm just looking at him, you've got the wrists, etc., the shoulders and everything. It's just been really, really well engineered and shortened. In fact, there's probably more articulation in his feet and his toes than there is in this version. Because he's Optimus Prime, we've of course got the lovely translucent windows, and of course, if I very carefully open this, there is indeed a tiny little matrix which you can of course take out, and that's even quite detailed as well, to be honest. That will fit back inside his chest. You can't have an Optimus Prime without a matrix, can you? And this will just close back together. We've got his gun, which again you can probably pop in any hand. Yes, you can. And indeed, as I say, you can fully pose, and I'm useless at posing figures, to be honest. Fully pose him. It was even got an ab crunch. I forgot that he's got an ab crunch, so he's more articulate than the Earthrise version. So yeah, it'll crunch all the way over. Very, very poseable, highly articulate, and exactly that, he looks great. So let's do a quick comparison. I suppose this is the one that most people who collect third parties will want to see. Now obviously this is a different deco. This one's what they're calling the comic deco, but he's that little bit taller than him, and I suppose because of the deco, he's a bit more toon accurate. This guy's a completely different league, so we can't really, it's not fair to compare him against him, in all honesty. The same exactly, in honesty, with the standard Hasbro core class figures, because although it's Hasbro's version of a smaller figure, it's at a completely different price point to where this guy is. This guy's 3.5, 4 times more expensive than them, so you get what you pay for. You know, that's one of them old English sayings. It's completely true. You totally do get what you pay for, but what you are paying for this is a really good quality product with a lot of detail on it. To give you an idea, if you're a Generation 1 collector, how big he is, if you've forgotten how big Generation 1 Optimus Prime was, or indeed how small Bumblebee was, so he's bigger than Bumblebee obviously, but nowhere near as big as the original. In honesty, there really isn't anything more to say about him apart from just a couple of more comparisons, because this is Magic Square's Trailbreaker, so he scales pretty well with him. He's taller than him. And then I've got an Iron Factory Mirage here, so again another third-party company, but he scales really well with all of them. So as I said, that's all there is to say with him in his robot mode. We'll have a quick look actually, if you want, just at the more detail on him. I've just noticed there's the detail there in the forearms, and as exactly that, I suppose every time I look at him I'm going to pick up more things, but for now that's all I want to say about him in his robot mode. He looks spectacular. Let's have a look at him in his cab mode. Okay then, back for the final time, and as you can see, he's already in his alternate mode. Quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. Main reason is to keep the length of this particular video down, and if I'm being completely honest, and I'm going to leave myself open here for a load of criticism and ridicule, it is incredibly difficult. I really did struggle with it. I had to do things which I don't normally do. I had to consult a couple of videos, and I did find a guy who did an amazing stop motion video, and I slowed it down to 0.25 and managed to do it. It really was rather difficult, annoyingly so, as I say, for myself. I mean, now I can take nothing away from the alternate mode. It looks spectacular and it does all fit together really well, but you've probably got an idea of how many different panels there are all there. I love the fact that the wheels are rubber. That's a lovely little touch. You can see they're all on their own individual pins, so again, no issue with movement whatsoever. You can pretty much guess or see how a lot of it's tucked away, but there is a load of inner workings, twisting, turning, everything. That you know, I've got to be honest, it does disguise it all a little well, but for me, if I'm being brutally honest, the transformation at the moment, maybe it's because I'm getting new to it and getting used to these figures and I'm new to them, it was just a little bit too much for me. It took away the fun of it. I mean, I love the alternate mode. It looks great. I think the robot mode looks even better, to be honest. I definitely can't see me transforming this guy much, in all honesty. And because he's just the cab, as it does say there, there's no trailer to attach to him either, just apart from a couple of comparisons I suppose to do. There is the G1 cab, of course, which is a different colour to the actual cartoon anyway, and then just for the sake of a quick comparison, there is the standard core class version. So again, you can see that he's in a completely different league. He does look good. Let's have a look at it then. So we can see obviously the grille, the lights, the translucent windows. They're quite clever actually. They do spin all the way around, but what I don't understand is why they're so completely different to that. Maybe if they'd have just got, you know, a similar sort of color, that would have been a little bit better. You can still manage to keep the matrix underneath, which you can see is tucked away there. The silvers are there, okay. The smokestacks aren't too sharp, in case you're worried about that. As I've said, the rubber on the tyres is really nice. It's a great touch. And to be honest, I think it's borderline chrome. It's not full chrome, but it's shiny silver enough to look metallic like it. So I do like the look of it, as I say, and I know I've harped on about it, but I've got to be honest, and I am in these videos, that the transformation process on this just took away the fun for me. It was just a little bit too prolonged. And again, you know, maybe the more I get into it, the better, of course, I will also get. That could also be a factor. I just think for me, for the transformation process, this guy is slightly better. Let's move him out of the way, and I'll probably do a bit of a more comparison between the two and a first impressions from myself being new to the new age and Magic Square figures. But I'm going to wrap this video up here. As I say, we saw more than enough of him in the first part. He does display great. He is great. He's just a little bit complicated, and I suppose it depends what you're sort of going with this scale, because they are a little bit different size. I can't take anything away from the fact aesthetically he looks great, and he really does. And there we go. I'm going to sign off now with saying that is your Magic Square MS B46E Light of Victory, which is their take on a Generation 1 Optimus Prime. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.